Hello, today I'll be evaluating Airbnb, which is one of my favorite companies. So Airbnb is a holiday rental property. So what it is it's an intermediary platform where people could list their properties for people to rent, and if I want to go on holiday, I could also go on the site and rent someone's property for a short stay. So I'll be evaluating Airbnb through three main ways. The first, I'll be evaluating whether it's a great company. To do that, I would evaluate it quantitatively and qualitatively. Secondly, I'll be calculating Airbnb's fair value because no matter how great or good a company is, if it's overpriced, it's not worth it. And lastly, I'll be evaluating the current risks that Airbnb is facing and how that would affect its share price. So as of today, Airbnb is trading around $136. Firstly, to evaluate whether it's a good company, I'll be looking at its financial statements. There's three things that I'll be looking for. I'll be looking for consistently increasing revenue, consistently increasing income, and lastly, consistently increasing cash flow operations at least 5 years. So if I go to Yahoo Finance, that's where I can check its financials. Firstly, I will look at its revenue. I can see from Yahoo Finance in the income statement that its revenue over the past 5 years is consistently increasing. So that's a very good sign because it tells me that it's getting more and more customers year by year. Next, I'll look at its income. Again, I can see that its net income is increasing year by year. The overall trend is increasing. There is slight negativity during COVID, but that's COVID. It's a one-off situation. And thirdly, I'll look at its cash flow. Again, the overall trend is a strong uptrend. So from these three things, revenue, income, and cash flow operations, I can conclude that its financials is very strong, showing that it's a good company. The next thing I want to check is its gross profit margin. So I can go to a website called Macro Trends for this. What I'm looking for in the gross profit margins is that it's either flat or increasing. I don't want to see it decreasing. The reason why is that if it's decreasing means it's less profitable, it's getting less and less profitable, mainly because there is stronger competition around. So from here I can see it's roughly flat, so that's another positive sign. So that means competition isn't really creeping into Airbnb business. So that's quantitative done. Next, qualitative. In order for a company to be great, it has to have a strong economic moat. So Airbnb is a company that benefits from something called network effects. So the more people that use it, the bigger the company becomes, and it grows bigger and bigger. Just like something like Facebook, the more people uses it, they'll encourage their friends to use it, and it grows on the network effects. The main competitors of Airbnb could be Booking.com or Trip.com. I won't say there are major competitors because those are mainly focused on hotels or hostels, and Airbnb is mainly focused on renting people's homes. So I would say it's a unique product in its market, and that gives it a very unique selling point and a very strong economic moat. So is Airbnb a great company? Yes, I think it is. Next, I will go and calculate the fair value of Airbnb. To do that, I would use the discounted cash flow model. So I'll open my discounted cash flow calculator model. So these values, I can obtain it from Yahoo Finance. So operating cash flow, the total debt, I can get this from the balance sheet. Cash and short-term investments, again, I can get this from the balance sheet under assets. And cash flow growth rate. For the cash flow growth rate, there are two websites that I love to use. One is Zacks.com and another one is Finviz. So if I navigate over there, I can see the cash flow growth rates for these two websites. So firstly, for Zacks, the 3 to 5 years EPS growth is around 12.79%. And if I navigate over to Finviz, I can see the 3 to 5 years. The EPS next 5 years is about 11.11%. So Normally, I would take the average, but because I'm a more conservative investor, I'll just take the minimum. So that both of them give very similar estimates. So I'll just take 11.11% and input in my calculator. The 6 to 10 years growth rate, I'll just take half of that, and the 10 to 20 years, again, half of that. And I'll populate in the numbers of shares outstanding and the beta. And that gives me an overall intrinsic value of about $204. And if I update the current market share value of 136, I can see that Airbnb is trading at a discount of 33.6%. So as an investor, am I happy? Yes, because currently the share price is below its intrinsic value, which means there is a huge room of growth, 33%. So the second point, Airbnb is undervalued. Perfect. Now I want to look at the challenges that Airbnb is facing. So Airbnb is currently facing two main challenges. The first one is regulatory. So a lot of countries wants to put more regulation into letting their homes. This is because many people blame Airbnb for the increasing house prices because landlords are just buying up these houses and renting it as Airbnb. As a result, it drives house prices up. So more and more countries wants to implement regulations on Airbnb. Is this a concern to me? Yes and no. Because the yes part is because this could significantly affect Airbnb's business. Again, there's not much news on what these regulations could be, so it's hard to quantify it. Secondly, this has been an outstanding issue for a very long time, and many countries regulators haven't really implemented anything. So I would say I would give it about a 10% risk score. So I'll take a 10% risk on its intrinsic value to counter for this. The second main issue is the economic situation in Airbnb's largest market, which is United States. Because of tariffs and because of the uncertainty in the economic situation, people would cut down their spending. And when someone's in a tough financial situation, the first thing they usually cut down on is holiday spending, and this would directly affect Airbnb. So currently there's a lot of uncertainty regarding the economy, and if let's say the economy goes to a downturn, it goes in a recession, Airbnb will be at the forefront of it. Personally, I think this is a short-term risk, so I won't take this as a very serious issue. So all in all, do I think Airbnb is a good investment? Yes, I think at $136 at its current price is a very good investment. I would definitely put my money into it. But something I noticed as well is that Airbnb price tends to go towards the 130 region, about there. So I would buy now, yes, but I'll also wait for it to drop to 130, and that's where I'll put more of my money into it because it has a huge upside potential. That's all for my analysis for today. Thank you.